I invite the chaplain to open us with a word of prayer.
Let us pray. Father, we come to you today with grateful hearts, acknowledging your sovereignty of all nations and people. As this government gathers its chamber to deliberate and to decide on matters that will shape the lives of many, we invite your presence to dwell among us. As we remember your servant Solomon, who says in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. May you guide this government that they may not rely solely on their own wisdom, but seek your counsel in every discussion and decision. Grant them humility to listen, compassion to understand, and courage to act with justice and integrity. Bless each member here with clarity of thought, purpose. Cause your heart to be committed to the good of this land. Lord, let this house be a beacon that represents hope for the people. And may every decision made in this honorable house be done for the uplifting of the people of Anguilla, our beloved land. We pray for peace within these walls and that your will be done. We ask this morning that every diabolical or human plot to destabilize, disrupt this administration, I stand to this moment and I bind every intention through the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, let your continuous blessings be upon this government and the people of Anguilla. This we ask in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Chaplain. Members, you may have your seat.
Confirmation of minutes of the first meeting of the first session of the 13th Anguilla House of Assembly.
Good morning again, members. You should have before you, and you would have had prior to today, the minutes from the first meeting of the first session. Are there any corrections, any amendments? If there are no amendments or corrections, may I invite a member to move that the minutes be approved?
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the minutes as amended, as circulated, be confirmed.
Thank you. May I have a seconder?
I'd like to second, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, member. It has been moved and seconded that the minutes of the first meeting of the first session of the 13th Anguilla House of Assembly be approved. All in favor? Those against? I think the ayes have it. The minutes are confirmed.
Oath of allegiance to new members, the Honorable Deputy Governor.
At this time, I wish to invite the Honorable Deputy Governor to take the oath of allegiance.
I, Perrin A. Bradley, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
I wish to invite the Honorable Attorney General Acting to take the oath of allegiance.
I, Dawn Richardson, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors according to law. So help me God.
Thank you. I wish to welcome you both to the 13th House of Assembly.
Announcements by the direction of the Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. By way of announcements, I wish to inform this honorable House that I've received apologies for the absence of Single Island-wide Electoral District member Jason Bryan and Mr. Vanterpool, who are both out of the jurisdiction. I also wish to inform this honorable House that we have sent official condolences to the Speaker of the House of Assembly in Bermuda, who is mourning the loss of his wife. At this time, this House acknowledges the passing of Pope Francis, and we extend condolences to the Catholic Church locally and internationally. As it relates to our sports and community events, we wish to congratulate our young football male players that have returned from the BVI with success. We also acknowledge our athletes that are in Trinidad, I believe, for Carifta Games, and we wish for their safe return. And we also want to commend the organizers of the Festival de Mar Easter community event. I know several of us were there. It was quite an incredible event. It's the 18th year, and we're most grateful for our law enforcement who kept us safe, and also grateful for our attendees that ensured that we had a peaceful celebration. As it relates to our youth parliament, I wish to commend the members that were able to attend, albeit on short notice, to attend our event that we hosted called Mentor and Mingle for our youth parliamentarians. Some of our members did not make it, but it doesn't mean that you can't assist. I do hope that you will indicate your willingness to serve as mentors for our youth parliamentarians. And those are the announcements.
Questions? None. Government statements and recent developments? None. Papers? None. Reports from committees? None. Petitions? None. Government notices? None. Private members' notices? None. Motions? Motion 1 of 2025 1/13 HOA for the consideration of government's legislative program.
If you will recall, on our last sitting on March 11th, the honorable member for Sandy Hill made a motion that the legislative program be presented to this House at an adjourned date. Today, we are at the adjourned date. I'll crave the indulgence to have the stand. You wish to have the stand? Sure. We do acknowledge that that motion was seconded, and today is the continuation of the presentation. And before the House is the legislative program, which would have been circulated, and I believe every member should have a copy. So at this time, I call upon the honorable member for Sandy Hill to continue the motion and present her opening address with respect to the legislative program. Honorable member.
Thank you. Good morning to you, Madam Speaker. Good morning to the members of this honorable House, and a very special good morning to those who are listening and viewing via social media. I hope everyone had a wonderful Easter weekend. Madam Speaker, I rise to present the Government of Anguilla's legislative agenda for the period 2025-2026 in accordance with the Legislative Assembly Procedure Amendment Act, Rule 13. This week marks the beginning of our 7th working week of this administration's term in office. Over the past weeks, each of our ministers first had to acquaint themselves with the scope of their ministries and departments, the role of the various statutory bodies and organizations, understand the status of ongoing projects, and chart the course to implement the Anguilla United Front People Plan. The People Plan is a progressive, comprehensive, and achievable plan to develop Anguilla for the people, by the people. There are 6 priorities of the People Plan: participatory democracy, accountability and transparency, economic diversity, sustainability and resilience, opportunities for economic empowerment and stabilization of businesses, pathways to education, skills, training, and lifelong learning, lifting communities, ensuring safety and security, social services and infrastructure, and empowerment and inclusion of youth, senior citizens, and persons with disabilities. Now, in order to implement all or even part of our People Plan, we had to first determine what we met and what obligations the previous administration had committed us to. It is true, Madam Speaker, that governments are continuous. And just like the previous administration met a number of ongoing projects in 2020, like reconstruction at all of the primary schools, the hospital, the Valley Clinic, South Hill Clinic, and the Blowing Point Ferry Terminal, so too has this administration met and will carry on projects such as the airport terminal building and the runway extension, Senior Shield, and Junior Shield. We have now had the opportunity to review the 2025 budget, and in particular, the capital expenditure, with a view to determining what projects fit into our People Plan and prioritizing what is important for the people of Anguilla. In the Ministry of Finance, our AUF GST relief plan is moving forward. I have requested my team to engage the necessary resources to look at the existing GST structure and adjust the figures and calculations in terms of what that decrease in taxation would look like and how best to ensure the people of Anguilla are able to see it and feel it. This is not a quick fix. We saw that the former administration had removed GST from all food supplies in December of 2024. However, that move did not adjust the price of food significantly, if at all. We are going to do this, and we're going to do it properly. And it is even more important when we consider the anticipated further increase in cost of goods coming out of the US as a result of a number of measures being put in place by the US government, which will have an impact on all of us here in Anguilla and in the wider Caribbean. Our teams in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development are paying keen attention, and we intend to be responsive to this matter. In the Ministry of Infrastructure, an important aspect of our People Plan is to reduce the cost of electricity for our people. Reducing electricity costs will not only benefit the average consumer, but businesses as well. A significant aspect of the cost of doing business in Anguilla is the electricity costs. And you can ask any retail owner, what does their electrical bill look like? And this administration is committed to ensuring that our electricity company, Anguilla, moves quickly towards renewable energy integration, which will provide sustained relief to our people. Last week, you will have heard the Minister of Maiku, the Honorable Jose Vanterpool, inform the public as to the steps taken regarding decisions that were being made to prepare Anguilla for the next shareholders meeting, which should be taking place over the next few days. It is anticipated that the new board of directors will focus on finally delivering renewable energy and reduce electricity costs to the people of Anguilla. We look forward to that day. Work has already commenced, and our lending partners, such as the Caribbean Development Bank, are fully on board to assist Anguilla and ANGLEC in implementing the ANGLEC Renewable Energy Plan. Let's talk about water. Water is one of our main priorities. We need water in our homes to drink, cook, bathe, live. Our farmers cannot grow their crops without water. It is a necessity. And we are aware that 80% of the water produced is lost as a result of our aging water infrastructure. The infrastructure needs to be addressed as a matter of urgency. The estimated cost to upgrade our water network is approximately $50 million. The allocation in the 2025 budget was some $9 million, which will not significantly address this burning issue. We intend to fully and finally address this early on in this administration. And the Honorable Jose Vanterpool, the Honorable Cordell Richardson, and their team at the Ministry of Infrastructure are hard at work to deliver these and other key reforms to the people of Anguilla. In the Ministry of Economic Development, the measures taken are intended not only to reduce the cost of living, but also to reduce the cost of doing business in Anguilla as well. This administration understands that the driving force behind economic activity, leading to increased employment, increased wages, increased opportunities for growth and expansion, is our private sector. We intend to work with our private sector with a focus on our local business sector to create a thriving economic climate and ensure that the local consumer, the average man and woman, benefits from same. Our Minister of Economic Development, the Honorable Mr. Kyle Hodge, has already begun work on this. And the Honorable Kyle Hodge speaks passionately on the steps his ministry is taking to significantly address food security in our country. A few weeks ago, the ECCB would have deposited the sum of $2.4 million to invest in food security here in Anguilla. You have heard of additional shade houses, the development of hydroponics and fruit orchards, which will significantly increase our food production on island. Plans are also underway to find ways to assist our fisherfolk and our farmers in obtaining higher yields. In the Ministry of Health, Tourism and Sports, there is much work to be done in health. We all can recall that the Anguilla Health Authority was dissolved under the former administration, and health services was brought back under government. The transfer did not include the alignment of salaries, and this remains unresolved as of now. The issue of emoluments impacts not only the existing health service providers, but makes it difficult to attract new persons. And this includes medical doctors and specialists. This will be addressed in short order. The Princess Alexandra Hospital infrastructure is also in serious need of repair. As the Honorable Mr. Evans McNeil Rogers repeatedly says, as the island's only 24-hour medical care facility, it is critical for staff and patients that we get it right. As we progress with the construction of the new airport terminal and runway expansion, we must also appreciate that more visitors to our shores also requires that we upgrade our medical facilities, attract medical professionals that we require, train more of our people to take up various roles in the health profession, and offer the type of services that we do not currently enjoy here in Anguilla. In the area of tourism, the Honorable Cardigan Connor is already hard at work and well on the way to reclaiming the Anguilla's title of Best Island in the Caribbean for 4 years in a row by Travel and Leisure. This accomplishment was last achieved under the 2015 to 2020 Anguilla United Front administration, when he was Parliamentary Secretary in charge of tourism. A couple of weeks ago, the new members of the Anguilla Tourist Board were announced, a clear union of experienced youth and ability. And we have no doubt that they will deliver on their mandate. In relation to sports, with the Honorable Cardigan Connor and Honorable Jason Bryan at the helm, our national sport of boat racing will receive the attention it deserves. We will also see an emphasis on development of sports tourism here in Anguilla. And right now, the Honorable Jason Bryan is at the Carifta Games in Trinidad with our Anguillan athletes. We wish the athletes every success, and we thank them, their coaches and parents for their dedication and contribution to the development of sports in Anguilla. As a government, we aim to establish a national sports development fund, national uniform, the employment of more staff, and in particular, a community planner focused on sports and transportation for our athletes. In the Ministry of Education, Social Development and Culture, the Honorable Shelia Rogers Webster is focused on providing greater investments in education, including in areas such as TVET, technical and vocational education training, early childhood education, and special education. We are all aware of the limitations that these areas have had over the years, and this administration will finally address them. We will support the Anguilla Community College as our indigenous tertiary education facility and explore greater opportunities for scholarships to enable more of our young persons to further their education, whether at home or abroad. The minister is also looking at various programs currently offered through the Department of Youth and Culture and identifying ways in which we can expand those entrepreneurship and training programs so that even more young persons can benefit from them. The work of the Ministry of Social Development is a critical aspect of any developing society, including Anguilla. We may not see or hear of our social workers, but they are invaluable. There are children in Anguilla who are in need of help and protection. There are parents who need support. And our social workers who see the underbelly of our society need support themselves in order to remain productive. In a time and place where drugs and gun violence threaten our small, peaceful society, investment in the Ministry of Social Development is urgently needed. In the area of culture, plans for Anguilla Carnival 50+1 is well underway. I wish to once again thank the Honorable Shelia Rogers Webster for her quick response and thinking outside the box approach to finally addressing the issue of unpaid carnival troops from last year's Carnival 50. We recognize that our people participate in Carnival, not for money, but it is a labor of love for culture and country. The government could never afford to pay Carnival participants the full extent of their personal investment, but it is important that promises made are promises kept. The new Carnival Committee is already hard at work, and I have no doubt they will deliver a grand Carnival 51. A festival commission will also be established, as it is critical in developing cultural industries as an economic driver for Anguilla. Madam Speaker, I took the time to highlight the progress taking place in all of the ministries so that we can have a full appreciation of the hard work that has been ongoing for the benefit of the people. Some of the ongoing work has to be supported by either new legislation or amendments to existing legislation. Madam Speaker, this legislative agenda is what we anticipate we will be able to accomplish for the period 2025 to 2026. It is an ambitious agenda. A number of the acts and amendments were listed as department and ministry priorities prior to elections in February. We are aware of the existing and hopefully short-lived limitations in the Attorney General's chambers. And so this list focuses only on what is deemed important to be brought to this House of Assembly over the next year. It is not an inclusive list. And so as matters arise and priorities are realigned, public consultations will be held and additional legislation will be brought to the House. I will now go through the legislative agenda list for 2025-2026. The bills proposed to come to the House are from various portfolios, which I will touch on. Agriculture Bill, Ministry of Economic Development, the Fisheries and Marine Resources Bill, Ministry of Economic Development, amendments to bulk petroleum legislation, Ministry of Finance, and these will be all under the Ministry of Finance. Financial Administration and Audit Amendment Act, GST Amendment Act, Pensions Amendment Act, Procurement Amendment Act Phase 1, Social Security Act, regulations under Financial Administration and Audit Act, the Training Levy Fund and Budget Stabilization Fund legislation, Universal Social Levy Amendment Act, amendments to Common Reporting Standard regulations, amendments to the Cooperative Societies Act and regulations, amendments to the Financial Services Commission Act, Anguilla Special Trust Act, Insurance Amendments Act and regulations, International Banking Bill, amendment of legislation AML CFT regulation of licensed financial institutions, amendments to the Business Companies Act and Commercial Registry Supervisory Framework legislation, the Banking Amendment Act, Payment Systems and Services Bill, regulations under Commercial Registry and Beneficial Ownership Registration System, and under the Ministry of Health, the Health Professionals Act, Tobacco Act, National Health Insurance Amendment Act, Telecommunications Amendment Act, and ancillary regulations for cybersecurity, data protection, and special provisions. That would be in the Ministry of Infrastructure. Under the Ministry of Finance, Immigration, Ministry of Finance, Labor, Immigration, Immigration Act, Advanced Passenger Information System, Labor Relations Amendment Act, Immigration Reform, Legislation and Regulations, Workers' Compensation Amendment Legislation, the Ministry of Finance, Customs Amendment Act, Advanced Cargo Systems. Under the government portfolio, the Governor, Parliamentary Service Commission Act, Police Amendment Act and Police Unsatisfactory Performance and Disciplinary Regulations, Police Sick Leave and Disciplinary Regulations. The Ministry of Infrastructure, Fire and Rescue Amendment Act and fire regulations, including fireworks fees regulations. The Ministry of Health, Sports and Tourism, National Sports Act. The Ministry of Economic Development, Consumer Protection Bill, Distributors Bill. In the Ministry of Social Development, Festivals Commission Bill, Ministry of Economic Development, Fiscal Incentives Bill, Licensing of Business Act, Ministry of Infrastructure, Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Act and regulations, including public service vehicles, seatbelt and DUI regulations, Roads Amendment Act, Passenger Service Fee Amendment Act and regulations, Merchant Shipping Amendment Act and ancillary regulations, Public Utilities Commission Amendment Act, Electricity Amendment Act and ancillary regulations, rates and charges and supply, Water and Wells Amendment Act, and regulations, wells, groundwater and seawater abstraction, and regulation of petroleum fuel bill. As I mentioned, Madam Speaker, the list that I would have provided is a list that we anticipate over the next year. And as you can see, this legislative list aligns with our priorities for the next year. 8 weeks in, we have begun to take hold of our ministries and departments and are working with the technocrats and other public servants in our departments in order to deliver our People First mandate, the People Plan for the benefit of the residents and citizens of Anguilla. That is our goal. That is our focus. And we are committed to delivering prosperity, educational, and economic opportunities for our people. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member from Sandy Hill. And just to remind the honorable members, in accordance with the House of Assembly Procedure Rules 2021 as amended, Section 13(3), the Leader of Opposition may reply to the opening address at the next ordinary sitting of the Assembly. So I'm just confirming that just so that the public is aware that on the next sitting, the Leader will have an opportunity to reply, and then the mover will then also have an opportunity to reply to his reply. I will ask our clerk to proceed with the agenda. We have before us a few motions, so I will allow him to call them in sequence. I invite the honorable member for Valley North, who is the mover of this motion, to present the motion. Are any of the microphones on? If not, we should signal the technical team. Or we can share. Do you want to pass down the honorable member for Sandy Hill's microphone? It's our first day back from Easter.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. A pleasant good morning to everyone, those in the gallery who are here joining us, members of the House, those of us joining via Facebook Live or radio, a pleasant good morning. Whereas Section 80 of the House of Assembly Procedure Rules provides the following. 1, there shall be a standing committee of the House of Assembly to be known as the Administrative Committee to consider the services provided for and by the Assembly and to make recommendations on those services to the clerk and the Speaker. 2, the Administrative Committee shall consist of not less than 3 nor more than 5 members of the Assembly, drawn from both sides of the Assembly, whose appointment to the committee shall be moved subject to the approval of the Assembly. 3, the Speaker shall be the chair of this committee. And whereas this House of Assembly is desirous of continued reform so as to achieve greater democratic and good governance standards for this future House of Assemblies and Anguilla in general. Mindful of the size of the Assembly and the capacity of the House service to support the effective operation of multiple committees. Be it hereby resolved that this House of Assembly establishes the Administration Committee in accordance with Section 80(1) of the House of Assembly Procedure Rules 2021. The committee is comprised of the Honorable Single Island-Wide Electoral District Member, Mr. Jose Vanterpool, the Honorable Single Island-Wide Electoral District Member, Mr. Kyle Hodge, the Honorable Member for Valley North, the Honorable Member for Road South, and the Honorable Member for Road North. Be it further resolved that the Administration Committee shall continue the Assembly's work on parliamentary reform aimed at improving the Assembly's democratic and good governance standards. Thank you.
I invite a seconder. Thank you, member. It has been moved and seconded that the appointment of the Administration Committee be made pursuant to Motion 2 of 2025 before this House. All in favor? Those opposed? I think the ayes have it. The motion is carried, and the motion before the House is that the members are appointed pursuant to the resolution before us. I invite the honorable member for Sandy Hill, the Minister of Finance, to move the motion 3 of 2025 as it relates to the appointment of members and chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Whereas Section 79(1) of the House of Assembly Procedure Rules 2021 provides for the establishment of the Public Accounts Committee as a standing committee of the Assembly, consisting of not less than 3, no more than 5 members of the Assembly, drawn from both sides of the Assembly, whose appointment to the committee shall be moved by a resolution of the Minister of Finance and subject to the approval of the Assembly. And whereas Section 79(3) provides that the House of Assembly shall from time to time appoint a member of the committee who is a member of the opposition in the House to be chairman of the committee. Madam Speaker, I beg to move the motion that it is hereby resolved that this House of Assembly appoints the following as members of the committee: Honorable Member for Island Harbor, Honorable Member for Road North, Honorable Member for Valley South, Honorable Single Island-Wide Electoral District Member Mr. Jason Bryan, and be it further resolved that this House appoints the Honorable Member for Island Harbor as chairman of the committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, member. I invite a seconder. Thank you, member. It has been moved and seconded that the Public Accounts Committee be comprised of the members set forth in the resolution, motion being 3 of 2025. All in favor? Those against? I think the ayes have it. And I should state for the record that these motions were done by consent, so there hasn't been any debate, if you're wondering. Let us move on to the third motion on our order paper. It has been indicated to the chair that there's a wish for a 5-minute recess. So at this time, we will take the recess.
Speak, the other speaker.
resumes its sitting.
Motion 4 of 2025, 1/13 HOA, Customs Duty and Tax Exemption Motion, Regulations 2025, Anguilla Football Association.
I invite the proposer of this motion, the Honorable Member for Sandy Hill and Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, motion 4 of 2025, 5 of 2025, and 6 of 2025 are all customs duty and tax exemption motions. And I seek leave for the substance of the resolution to be read once and apply to the other two motions.
Any objections? The leave is granted such that the motions 4, 5, and 6 are permitted to proceed on reading the substance, and the recitals would be read just once. Leave is granted.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Customs Duty and Tax Exemption Motion 4 of 2025, 1/13 HOA Regulations 2025. Resolution made by the House of Assembly under Section 77(1) of the Customs Act, RSA C 169, and Section 3 of the Excise Tax Amendment Act 2020 was proposed and seconded in the House of Assembly on the 22nd day of April 2025. Whereas a certificate of good standing that had not expired or been cancelled was produced to the Minister of Finance in relation to the importers. Be it resolved that under the powers contained in Section 77(1) of the Customs Act, RSA C 169, and Section 3 of the Excise Tax Amendment Act 2020, the House of Assembly exempts from customs duty and excise tax the goods imported into Anguilla specified in the schedule. Number 1, the following conditions apply in respect of all goods exempted by virtue of this resolution. A, the goods shall not within 5 years of the date of importation be sold, exchanged, given away, or applied to any use other than the use specified in the schedule. B, on the expiry of 6 months from the date of importation and each successive 6-month period within the 5-year period after the date of importation, the importer shall certify to the Comptroller of Customs in a form acceptable to the Comptroller of Customs that he has complied with the conditions set out in paragraph A. C, upon demand made by a customs officer, the goods exempted under this resolution shall be produced or otherwise accounted for to the customs officer. D, in accordance with the Customs Administrative Cost Recovery Act, RSA C 170, at the time of import, the importer shall pay the customs administrative charge at the rate specified in the schedule. Number 2, in accordance with Section 71 of the Customs Act, RSA C 169, the following apply in the event that a condition referred to in Section 1 of this resolution is contravened or not complied with. A, if any of the goods exempted under this resolution are sold, exchanged, given away, or applied to any use other than the use specified in the schedule within 5 years of the date of importation, 1, the importer shall pay the customs duty and excise tax on the value of such goods at the rates specified in the integrated customs tariff at the date of importation. 2, the importer and any person knowingly concerned in such sale, exchange, gift, or unsanctioned use is guilty of an offense and may be arrested and is liable to a fine of $20,000 or 3 times the customs duty, excise tax relieved, whichever is greater, or to the imprisonment of a term of 2 years or to both. And 3, the goods in respect of which the exemption was granted are liable to forfeiture. B, if the importer fails to certify that he has not sold, exchanged, given away, or applied the goods to any use other than the use specified in the schedule, 1, the importer shall produce or account for the goods exempted under this resolution to the Comptroller of Customs. 2, any goods not produced or accounted for will be deemed to have been sold, exchanged, given away, or applied to some use other than the use specified in the schedule, and paragraph A1 applied. And 3, if any goods not produced or accounted for are subsequently found, they are liable to forfeiture. C, if the importer fails to produce or account for the goods exempted under this resolution upon demand by a customs officer, 1, the importer and any person knowingly concerned in such failure are guilty of an offense and may be arrested and are liable to a fine of $20,000 or 3 times the value of the goods, whichever is greater, or to imprisonment for a term of 2 years or to both. And 2, if any goods not produced or accounted for are subsequently found, they are liable to forfeiture. D, if the importer fails to pay customs administrative fee at the rate specified in the schedule, at the expiry of 30 days from the date of delivery of a demand for payment made by the Comptroller of Customs, or such longer period as may be designated by the Comptroller of Customs, 1, the importer shall pay the customs duty and the excise tax on the value of such goods at the rates specified in the integrated customs tariff at the date of importation. 2, the importer and any person knowingly concerned in such failure are guilty of an offense and may be arrested and are liable to a fine of $20,000 or 3 times the value of the goods, whichever is greater, or to imprisonment for a term of 2 years or to both. And 3, the goods exempted under this resolution are liable to forfeiture. Motion number 4, the schedule. The importer is the Anguilla Football Association / Shirlene Stevens. The purpose, vehicles, and the period during which importation is allowed, November 18, 2024 to November 17, 2025. The list is attached. The duty and tax loss is EC $75,598.64.
Thank you, member. I invite a seconder. The motion before is motion 4 of 2025.
Madam Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Thank you, member. It has been moved and seconded that the Customs Duty and Tax Exemption Regulations 2025 Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. I think we were so used to consensus this morning that he did draw to my attention that there may be some room for debate if there's any. So are there any members that would like to make a contribution to this regulation? I recognize the honorable member for Valley North.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise in support of this exemption. The Anguilla Football Association has been doing tremendous work over the last few years, Madam Speaker, in terms of overall football development, both at the grassroots, lower children's level, but also even up to the adult level. In addition to the work that they do in football, they also do general development. And they've stood in the gap for the sports and for general youth development, even when the government may not have been in a financial position to do so. So it is very important, Madam Speaker, that we support initiatives and exemptions like this because we're all working together for the further development of the sport, but also for general youth development. Thank you.
Thank you, member. I recognize the member from West End.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I too rise in support. I think what is important with this as well, it shows the partnership that the government of Anguilla have with the Football Association. We know that as a sport, FIFA has supported associations around the world. But here in Anguilla, whether it's the land that's been made available for the use for football, or in the case like this, where duty-free concessions are offered, it is vitally important that that relationship continues to grow. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable member. The chair recognizes the member for Road North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to say good morning to everyone. Hope everyone had a blessed, restful Easter. Madam Speaker, I too rise in support of this motion for these vehicles for the Football Association. Those of us who have been following football from the days when they used to play, where is now the annex, when you had to sit on rocks under a tamarind tree to watch the games, to see where we have come now, where we have a turf field, where we have international games hosted in a stadium. I mean, anyone who's around the sport can be proud. We go back to starting under Mr. Gishard and the foundation he laid, and the now President Gordon Connor has taken it and has just run with the baton and has really, really tremendously made some big improvements in the sport. And this here's another example. So I just want to stand and with the previous speakers, say congratulations to the Football Association for this another step and to support this motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I recognize the Honorable Member for Island Harbor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good morning to you, Madam Speaker, to the members of the House, those in the gallery, the staff, the clerk. Happy belated Easter to all. Madam Speaker, I rise in support of this motion. We do know that the Anguilla Football Association continues to do a great job with pushing the sport of football or soccer to those with an American leaning. Along with FIFA, the AFA has been working on multiple field development throughout the island, including the Owen Mussington field at Pond Ground. And these vehicles are necessary to help to move athletes, employees, equipment, and supplies to different locations and to help to continue the sport. We do know that sometimes parents are not able to get their students to where they need to be, and one or more of these three vehicles will be able to do that. And we do know that it was in 1990, there is a policy that allows the government to allow duty concessions to sporting organizations, community organizations, charitable organizations, and others that would benefit the people of Anguilla. And so I would like to thank the government for bringing this motion to allow the AFA to have these vehicles, and the small contribution of the duty loss of 75,000 EC dollars will go a long way in investing in our youth and our athletes. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. If there are no further contributions, would the mover wish to reply?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm grateful for what appears to be the full support of the House in relation to the passage of this resolution for the benefit of the Anguilla Football Association as well as the children of Anguilla. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very grateful. It has been moved and seconded and fully supported that the Customs Duty and Tax Exemption Regulations 2025 be extended to the Anguilla Football Association pursuant to motion number 4, which has a schedule attached. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
Motion 5 of 2025, 1/13 HOA, Customs Duty and Tax Exemption Regulations, 2025, Laview Boutique Inn.
I invite the Honorable Member for Sandy Hill, Minister of Finance, and as indicated previously, leave has been granted to bypass the recitals and present the motion in the schedule.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, motion number 5 is in relation to the importer Laview Boutique Inn / Joylyn Hughes. Laview Boutique Inn is locally owned and established hotel property here in Anguilla. The purpose is property expansion. The period during which importation is allowed is between the September 15, 2024, September 14, 2025. The list is attached. And the duty and tax loss is EC $30,231.41. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, member. I invite a seconder. I recognize the honorable member for Road South. It has been moved and seconded. The floor is open for debate on the motion that is before it, motion 5 of 2025. The chair recognizes the honorable member for Road South.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. It gives, I believe, all of us great pleasure to endorse this expansion of Lakeview Boutique Hotel. I have a special affinity to Lakeview Hotel in that even though I'm not related to the hotel itself, I grew up in the area. And as a youngster, Cork Hughes, his grandmother, she lived in that particular area. And a gentleman by the name of Elvet Hughes, he had a Rhode Island Red chicken farm there where he grew chickens for the production of eggs. And he was the one, Mr. Elvet Hughes, in that particular area who got me turned on to animal husbandry and agriculture. And he actually gave me my first chicken. And from there on, I continued to be involved in farming and agriculture. And I can always remember there was a gentleman and a lady who lived in that particular area as well by the name of Garrett and Patricia Coburn. And in 2011 or thereabout, they relocated next to the H&T Hazel Primary School to give way for the expansion of Lakeview Hotel, which was the vision of Mr. Cork Hughes. And it was built initially by one Mr. Brian Hughes, may he rest in peace. So I've seen Lakeview grow from strength to strength. And Ms. Joylyn Hughes, the widow of Mr. Cork Hughes, have taken it to a new level, have expanded, have upgraded, and now has one of the premier properties on the island, which is locally owned, 100% locally owned. So I believe that all of us are in here today are very proud of the establishment of the contributions that the Hughes family have made, not only to hospitality and development, but the fact that we can own, and I say we, I mean Anguillians, can own a property of this magnitude, overlooking one of the most beautiful scenic villages in Anguilla, which is the Standing Ground Village. I know some person may say Island Harbor, but Standing Ground is one of the most scenic villages in Anguilla, especially when you look at it from back street. So I rise in full support of this motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, member. Are there any other contributions? The chair recognizes the member for West End.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think quite often in situations like this, we tend to focus on the duty loss rather than an investment. And it's government's investment in an industry that we claim to be our own. But we're still behind, Madam Speaker. I think that the Charming Escapes, what's regarded as the Charming Escapes, mainly owned by Anguillians, have been struggling for a number of years. So I think, Madam Speaker, something like this where government again is offering that support and partnership is what really matters. When we talk about putting people first, we're talking about people, putting people first, Madam Speaker, not just corporations, but it's also important that it's our people that feels as if what we call tourism is very much part of us as a people. So to Lakeview and the history of Lakeview, I say it's an example to other Anguillians who are keen to invest in this industry. So again, Madam Speaker, I rise very much in support. I thank you.
Thank you, honorable member from West End. The chair recognizes the honorable member for Valley North.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is an absolute pleasure to support this motion. I've had the pleasure of sleeping in what was previously a 2-bedroom home before Lakeview was built around that structure. And it is absolutely amazing to see what both Cork and Joy would have created and the beneficial contribution that it would have made to Anguilla generally. An environment and an atmosphere where most of our hotels and our properties in Anguilla are not locally owned. It's amazing that Joy is still able to to run, to build, to expand this property. And the government of Anguilla certainly stands in support of her. And we will continue to advocate, promote in any way, shape, or form this property because it is a wonderful complement to our tourism product. And of course, it is amazing for it to also be Anguillian owned, run, and operated. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Valley North. I recognize the Honorable Member for Road North.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, once again, I rise in support of this motion. As has been mentioned before by previous speaker, Madam Speaker, this is a locally owned establishment. And in a time when we are seeing less and less locals venture into the tourism market, it's a pleasure to see someone who has been there, who has stood the time, and not only stood the time, but keep improving and keep making the product that they have even better. We know that Anguilla is labeled as that luxury tourism and the big hotels get all the glory. But when you can see a mid-market hotel, Madam Speaker, shining so brightly, when with the view they have and they're maximizing everything that comes along with it, Madam Speaker, I think congratulations and kudos go out to them whenever you can give the chance. So again, Madam Speaker, I just wanted to rise in support of this motion and say congratulations again to Mrs. Hughes.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The Chair recognizes the Honorable Member for Island Harbor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it gives me great joy, no pun intended, to support Joylyn Hughes and Lakeview Hotel on this request. Madam Speaker, the MOUs that are signed with foreign developers, investors, offers duty concessions for 10 years or more, and also duty concessions on furnishings up to six times over a 20-year period. And I think it's only fitting that these similar type of concessions be given to our local investors, developers who commit to our main industry, tourism in Anguilla. We do know that tourism accounts for about 85% of our economy. And so the former APM administration unanimously approved this request and support for this motion 5/2025. And we do look forward. This is not an expansion of the size of the property. This is a space that is already built, and now it's being furnished so that the room complement can be increased. And so I want to say we look forward to continuing to see Lakeview Boutique Inn grow and be successful, and that Flavors Restaurant would once again continue to provide those delectable lunches and dinners and breakfasts that we were accustomed to. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The Chair recognizes the single island-wide electoral district member Hodge.
Madam Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Good morning to the House. Good morning to those listening via radio, live stream. Good morning to the gallery. Madam Speaker, I rise in full support of this duty-free concession to Lakeview Hotel. As a past beneficiary of duty-free concessions, I personally know firsthand, how long this stretches. When you have to keep up with the day-to-day expenses, when you have to import so many things, and in today's world where there are so many challenges as it relates to imports and inflation, I know for a fact that any savings as it relates to duty, it goes a long way as it pertains to that particular business. Whether it's 1,000 EC or whether it's 30,000 EC, Madam Speaker, it goes a long way. And as Minister of Economic Development, Madam Speaker, we support local business. We fully support entrepreneurship. And as the Premier would have stated earlier, we are working on a fiscal incentives bill that will also lend support to this industry, but also to many other industries. So, Madam Speaker, this has drawn support from both sides, as the former Premier would have mentioned. It would have been supported in Executive Council by the APM administration. These types of duty-free concessions, Madam Speaker, always draw support across the aisles. So it's not a surprise to see and to hear the support coming from the other side as well. Madam Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Unless there are any other contributions, I invite the mover to respond, if so desired.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm once again grateful for the full support of this House in relation to this motion. And it underscores, Madam Speaker, the commitment of this administration to supporting our local businesses. And so I am very proud that La Vue Boutique Inn has brought this motion forward, signifying an expansion of their premises. And so we look forward to them continuing to succeed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. It has been moved and seconded that the customs duty and tax exemption regulations be applied to La Vue Boutique Inn in accordance with Motion 5 of 2025. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
Motion 6 of 2025, 1/13 HOA, Customs Duty and Tax Exemption Regulation 2025, Lions Community.
I again invite the Honorable Member for Sandy Hill and Minister of Finance to propose the motion 6 of 2025.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, motion number 6 is in relation to Christmas tree lighting, the importer, Lions Community / Malone Richardson. The period during which importation is allowed is December 4th, 2024 to December 3rd, 2025. And I would imagine this is in anticipation of Christmas tree lighting for December 2025, which I'm quite impressed. And the duty and tax loss, EC $1,973.26. And the list is attached. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I raise a second.
Thank you, Member. The floor is open for contributions or debate in respect of motion 6 of 2025. The chair recognizes the Honorable Member for Valley North.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of this motion as well, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, most of the individuals who are associated with Lions Community are members of Valley North, District 3. And they're individuals who have been doing this, Madam Speaker, for well over 2 decades, Madam Speaker, and they continue to give their hard-earned money, time, and their contribution to making the Lions Community tree lighting a success. And it has been an honor over the years to support them, both in a personal capacity, but also in my professional capacity at the Department of Youth and Culture and subsequently at the Anguilla Tourist Board. So I rise in support of this motion, Madam Speaker, and I wish to publicly thank the members of the Lions Community for their continued dedication and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Member. The chair recognizes the Honorable Single Island Wide Electoral District Member Rogers.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and a pleasant good morning to my colleagues here in this honorable House and to those who are viewing and listening in via the various media methods. Madam Speaker, with your permission, I would want to respond to the motions that were discussed.
Permission granted, Member.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in terms of the Anguilla Football Association, as you would have seen, there's absolutely no objection. And I would like to place on record my profound appreciation for the hard work that Brother Gordon and his team is doing for the Anguilla Football Association and the FIFA organization as well. Also to Joy and her team, La Vue Boutique. I'm sure there wouldn't be any resistance or any objections to the continued improvement of that local-owned property. You know, now in the past and in the future to come. So again, in full support of it. I would also like to place on record my appreciation for the work of the Lions community. They have been doing it for well over 2 decades. Malone and his team, for the work that they have put in. And I'm sure that this honorable house would continue to support initiatives like this for our communities. So thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, member. Does any other member wish to speak there too? I recognize the member for West End.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to say that situations like this, it is about the whole island. If you consider that for us in West End, we come to the valley to check out those lights. And when you consider that the work that has gone in over the number of years, we have to give them that support. Again, as I would reiterate that it's not about duty loss. It is about government's commitment to offering support. So again, I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, member. Does the mover wish to respond?
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I wish to commend the Lions community for their 20 years of hard work in ensuring that at Christmas time that all of us have the ability to drive through the valley and be impressed and wowed by the lights. It's also the fact that they have, from now, the month of April, have already submitted for duty-free concessions for Christmas lighting in December. Should be an encouragement for all of us in our other constituencies to get it together so that we can have a wonderful opportunity to showcase what we have to offer in our respective communities as well. And so, Madam Speaker, with that, I commend this motion.
Thank you, members. It has been moved and seconded that the Customs, Duty and Tax Exemption Regulations 2025 extend to the Lions community in accordance with motion number 6, which is supported by the schedule. All in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. We may now proceed with the order paper.
Personal explanations, none. Other business, private members' bills, none. Private bills, none. Other orders of the day.
At this stage, I wish to invite members, if so desired, to use this as an opportunity to perhaps make any announcements for your constituencies that are not political in nature, and generally refer to any community announcements that you wish to state. I do recognize the honorable member for Island Harbor.
Thank you. I usually like to go last, but they say the last shall be first and the first shall be last. So, Madam Speaker, it's with a heavy heart today that, we wish condolences to the family of the late Aubrey Smith of Island Harbor. And sitting in the audience is his older brother, Clive Smith, who has served in this house as chaplain in the past. And the circumstances of his passing are very sad, and certainly the whole community of Island Harbor, of District 1 and Anguilla, will miss Mr. Smith. He contributed significantly to the community, not only as a taxi driver, but also as Sky King, where he made sure that our fishermen who braved the seas, that they had access to communication, whether they were in trouble or not. He kept them so that they made it back home to their families safely. And we would like to, again, give our condolences to the family. Festival Del Mar, Madam Speaker, over the Easter weekend, I want to commend the Village of Island Harbor for always putting on the best show that is possible in Anguilla. And this year, without a doubt, went well. I heard of only one incident, and I want to thank the Royal Anguilla Police Force for being there to keep us safe, the vendors who came out and did their best, and the people of Anguilla who support every year, and those visitors who came. and I'm happy that this continues. 18 years of Festival Del Mar is no small feat. I want to thank the committee for their commitment and their hard work. Happy belated Easter to everyone. Also wanted to point out that last week we commissioned 2 ambulances that were donated by the UK government and the people of the United Kingdom. I want to thank Professor Ian Cumming for continuing to work with the Department of Health Services to make sure that they came, and also to thank the people and the government of Bermuda who have also promised 2 ambulances to enhance emergency services here on the island. Also want to thank the UK government for a patrol boat, which was provided. And want to commend Commissioner Robert Clark on his reappointment as Commissioner of Police. He continues to do an excellent job, and I just want to say, as a member of the community, that the safety and security of our people is paramount, and he continues to get confidence that he's working hard to keep the people of Anguilla safe. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Island Harbor. Does any other member wish to speak? I recognize the Honorable Member for Road North.
Thanks again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first and foremost, I know it's been a while since we were last in the House. I won't go through the list, but I just want to offer condolences to all those who will be mourning and who we didn't get to mention since we had such a lull between houses. Madam Speaker, I want to offer some congratulations to the football under-15 team that I think came back yesterday that won the championship in BVI, and to young Robin who won the Golden Boot and the MVP. Congratulations to them. Also, congratulations to the senior football team, because while everybody was celebrating the Carifta team and the under-15 team, our senior football team was here in Anguilla playing against the BVI. They actually won that match 1-0. It was a thrilling match, Madam Speaker. To sit in the stands and watch, to see older folks like Kian and Jermaine hold the fort, but to see some young players like Kevin and Tamarcus, young goalkeeper Michael and Jared Speems. But, Madam Speaker, I saw a 15-year-old. I don't want to butcher his first name, but I know his last name is Leverett Francisco. 15 years old, starting on the national team. That is a real huge achievement, Madam Speaker. But I want to say congratulations again go out to the entire football team. Again, those of us who've been following football for a while, Madam Speaker, know when there was a time when Anguilla played anyone, and we used to be scared to hear the score. We used to hope that it don't pass 20, because we used to get beaten 16 and 17-0. Long gone are those days. We are here. Also, Madam Speaker, I want to give congratulations to the entire Carifta teams that traveled, both the swim team and the track team. But I want to give special mention to Nazario Gomes, who made the finals of the 400 meters, Madam Speaker. He wasn't successful in collecting a medal, but when you come from small Anguilla and you're able to make it to the finals at the Carifta amongst the Jamaicas and the Trinidads and so forth, I think he did well in establishing Anguilla. Also, all the other athletes, I was supposed to be going out with my wife Saturday evening, and she kept being going yet, and I like, no, another race coming up, another race coming up. Thankfully, the event didn't go till 8, 9 o'clock. I would have been still there watching it, but I want to congratulate all those athletes. And finally, Madam Speaker, a couple of weekends ago, there was this show called Inside a Young Mind, Madam Speaker, and I want to publicly again say congratulations to the organizer of that show, Takia Richardson, and her team, Madam Speaker. I sat here, Madam Speaker, in amazement all night at the amazing talent in Anguilla, Madam Speaker. I think I glimpsed you, dear Madam Speaker. I know I definitely saw the Honorable Deputy Governor, dear Madam Speaker. And I don't know if anyone else was there, but I'm publicly saying for the 4th edition of that show, Madam Speaker, I will be personally selling tickets to every member of this House. So get your $10, $15, whatever the cost of that ticket from now, because that show, Madam Speaker, it showcases too much of our young talent. I know you did the mentoring thing the last weekend, Madam Speaker, but we have to always, Madam Speaker, encourage our youth, and to see so much of our young people displaying their various talents, Madam Speaker, I think it's worthwhile that us here to give their support. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I smile, honorable member, because that one is near and dear to me. I actually saw you there last year and this year, so I commend you for supporting Takia Richardson and her team. It is an incredible team of young adults, talented adults, so thank you for bringing that to the attention of our members. Are there any other contributions? The chair recognizes the honorable member for West End.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I've got a couple of condolences to make on behalf of the family of Elaine Richardson. She passed away in England, aged 92, a couple of days ago. So I was very close to her. She's a family member. So again, I want to offer condolences to her children who are in England and also in the United States. And also to Rosebud Richardson from Long Bay, who would have passed over the last week. So again, condolences to that family. I'd like to, and also to Brother Clive on the passing of his brother, and anybody who is struggling at the moment. Madam Speaker, I want to say congratulations to my colleague, the Honorable Joseph Vanderpool, the first boat race of the year for the Class A boats. I think he's grinning from ear to ear still. I'm not surprised if that's the case. But I want to say to all of my colleagues who took part in that race and actually enjoyed it, because I think it is important that we understand our national sport of boat racing. It is, I think, 2012, Madam Speaker, an executive council was passed as a national symbol, but to date, there is not a policy as to what boat racing means, what it really means to us as a people. And it needs to be brought to this House, and it is my intention, Madam Speaker, to, of course, with the support of the AG's council office, to be able to make that happen. When I think of boat racing, Madam Speaker, boat racing is a working class man's sport. If you consider the concept of sailing back from Santo Domingo many years ago, there were no doctors or lawyers or CEOs going to Santo Domingo back then and sailing back. It was the working class, and some very young, some preteens. And out of that, the national sport of boat racing was developed. What we've seen in soccer, which was regarded as the working class sport, working man's class sport, it is today probably the richest sport in the world. Well, I might be dreaming, Madam Speaker, but I think we need to make boat racing the most important sport in Anguilla. And I think that is about giving back to the people some who would have dedicated many years of time and money and effort without payment. Suppose the payment was always the bragging rights, because even some of my colleagues who didn't finish in the top two, like the Light and Peace and the Wizard, they still are talking as if they won. That's a little bit tongue-in-cheek for Cardell. And of course, Cardell points out about the Shan. He was a crew member on the Shan. Honorable Premier was on the Sonic. Kyle was on the Satellite. The Shan. I think Cardell raced yesterday. He did live up to his word. Many others said they'll go back again, but he made sure that he did it. So congratulations, Cardell. So, Madam Speaker, again, I say all that to say that we as a government are prepared to be very supportive of a national sport. And what makes it very important is that if you are at sandy ground and see the boat that has been unbeatable for the last couple of years, the Wizard, you might think these guys are a bunch of renegades. But Madam Speaker, when you put these guys together, when you say boat racing's on, you have a team there that everybody have to admire. So please don't judge them or judge anybody by the way you look. Judge them by their production. And I think that it is also something that in the next week or two for us on Cabinet, we will meet with members from the Youth Sailing School, because that is the future. It's not just the future, it's actually the present of boat racing right now. So we look forward to giving as much support as we can to our youth and to our national sport of boat racing. So again, Madam Speaker, and I thank you for this time. Might have rabbled on a little bit about boat racing, but it's a passion that I have. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, member. Are there any other contributions? The member for Valley North is recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I hope that everyone had a blessed Easter weekend. I just want to congratulate the organizers of Festival Del Mar on another wonderful production, and I certainly stand in support of them moving forward, now serving as the Minister of Culture. I also wish to extend my condolences to the family of Mr. Aubrey Smith, and also to the family of Mr. Jason Gomes, all of the Lakes family, as he will be laid to rest later this week. I also wish to inform the members of my constituency and the general public about my absences over the next few weeks. I will be away on personal business from April 24th to 28th. From May 1st to May 3rd, I will be away at the University of West Indies annual business meeting. This is a funded trip by the University of the West Indies. I will also be attending the ministerial forum of the Caribbean Safe School Initiatives in St. Lucia from the 13th to the 16th of May. This is also a fully funded trip by the organizers of the ministerial forum. And finally, I will be away from May 17th to the 26th at the Education Wall Forum in London. During that period of time, I will also be in attendance to a meeting in Slough of Anguillians in the diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member. Unless there are no further contributions, I just wish to place on record that for the period 13th to 23rd May, the clerk and I will be attending the annual Commons and Overseas Territories Speakers Conference in the UK. I do want to just draw to your attention that as the home of .ai, we've been also asked to give a keynote presentation, and I will be presenting on the topic Artificial Intelligence, Establishing Best Practice in Parliamentary Democracy. And I put that out there so that if any members have any input, I know that there were papers that were written, any feedback that you would want to share with me as I prepare my keynote address, that would be appreciated if it could be sent through the clerk's office. So unless there's any other further business, I recognize the honorable member for Sandy Hill.
Yes, very quickly, thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise, first of all, to congratulate the organizers of Festival Del Mar as well. Every year, they do what they need to do and pull off a successful Festival Del Mar over the Easter weekend. And we see it's an excellent opportunity as well for many family and friends who are residing overseas to come back to Anguilla and spend the Easter weekend with us here. And so we appreciate all of the effort that they put out. I wish to extend my condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones of Mr. Aubrey Smith, who is actually a family member of mine as well, and the family, friends, and loved ones of Mr. Jason Gomes, and also, Madam Speaker, the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis. I am not sure if other people were surprised, but I was surprised. I saw him come out of the hospital, walking through the crowd, or being, taken through the crowd, and I had assumed he was on the mend. And so I know a lot of Christians, Catholics throughout the world here in Anguilla are mourning his loss, and so we extend our condolences to those persons as well. Madam Speaker, I wish to close by congratulating all of our athletes, those who have been here in Anguilla, competing here, those competing overseas. We wish those who are overseas safe journeys back and health and every success. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable member. Shall we take the adjournment at this stage? If so, I invite a member to move for the adjournment of the House.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to move that this House of Assembly be adjourned until Tuesday, 27th May at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Seconder,
Speaker, I rise to second.
it has been moved and seconded that this honorable House stands adjourned until the next sitting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, May 27th at 10 a.m. All in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. This House stands adjourned. Thank you for your time.